Hi everyone, it's Doreen. Welcome back to day 6 of Christmas cards with the Cricut. This is the card that I'm going to be showing you how I made it. So let's get started. Okay everybody, this card is going to be just a little different. It's actually a tag. And the reason why I made it this way is because my husband and I went to New Orleans for our anniversary in October. And while we were there, we stopped at one of the restaurants for breakfast. And they had this coffee that my husband thought was the best coffee he had ever had. And he just kept raving about this coffee the whole trip. And then the whole time we were there. So when we got back, he called the restaurant to find out what kind of coffee it was. And they told him. And so what he did was he ordered some of the coffee because he just really liked it. So he decided that he wanted to give some of this coffee to some of our friends who drink coffee. So I came up with this idea of making a card in the shape of a tag that has a coffee cup on the front. So we're going to get started and I'm going to show you how I did this. First of all, the tag itself is from the Joys of the Season cartridge and it is on page 51 and it looks like this one right here. And what I did was I took and cut this out, but before I cut it out, I welded it. I made 2 of them and then I flipped them and welded them together in order to make it like a card. So now I cut that at, let's see, it was, one tag was cut at 3 1/4 by 5.10, and then once I welded it together it ended up being 3 1/4 by 10.17. I would imagine I don't know if you could do this if you didn't have the gypsy. I'm not quite sure how you would do it. So let's get started so you can see how to put the card together. So this is the paper that I'm using, and this paper is from a K & Company paper set, and it looks like this. It's a Brenda Walton collection, and it's also double-sided, so it looks like this on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I just take and fold this in half and give it a good score to make sure I have it scored really nice. And then, let me bring up the rest of my supplies here. I took and I cut out another piece to put in the inside, and this was cut at 3 1/4 by 5.10. And actually, after I put this in the gypsy, I just took it down just 1/8 of an inch because I wanted to have like a little overlay. So, a little edge there. And I also took and inked my edges using my Tim Holtz Distress Ink, the peeled paint. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this inside and tape it down. And I'm going to use my ATG gun for that. Oh, wrong side. Okay, so that's the side we want to do because we want to get the piece that has the inked edges in there. And when you glue this or tape this down, you have to be careful that you leave a space for where the coffee cup is. Oh, wait a second here. Yep, that's right. So I just go ahead and glue that down. And then it ends up looking like this. So the next thing that I did was, my husband, when he found out about this coffee, he found out that the coffee had chicory in it. And we actually did see some coffee there that in one of the stores that we were in, that was coffee that was French roasted with chicory. But neither he nor I knew what chicory was, so he didn't want to take a chance and buy it and find out he didn't like it. So when he did call the restaurant, they did tell him that the coffee was French roasted with chicory in it. So what he did was he went and he looked up about coffee and chicory and found some information about it and some serving tips for the coffee. So I'm going to include that in the card. And it just basically says a Christmas treat from New Orleans. And then it goes in to tell about coffee and chicory and the serving tips. And then it says enjoy and Merry Christmas. So let's go ahead and put that inside. And I'm going to tape this down. And this time I'm not going to use the ATG gun because this is just paper. And I don't think I need to use my ATG gun just to tack this down. So I want to make sure I tape it around all the edges and then get some in the middle. And I'm using my Tombow adhesive to do that. So now I'm going to just lay that down in there. And I cut this. I didn't measure or anything. I just cut it till I could get it to fit properly. And then I took my X-Acto knife and cut along the edges there. So now the next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and put the negative of the coffee cup that was cut out. And I'm going to put that up here at the top on the inside of the tag, about right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the little coffee cup down. And I'm just going to use my two-way glue pen. I already put the pieces together previously and inked my edges. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I get enough of the two-way glue on to tack it down. And then once again, oh, I found them. I was going to say I can't find my tweezers, but I found them. So now I'm just going to go ahead and line it up about right there. And then just make sure it adheres down, which it did. Okay, then what I also like to do is I always like to put something in the inside, a stamped image. So I have this stamp that's from, it's a TPC studio that I got at Joann's, and it's called Coffee Cafe. It just has some different sayings and about coffee and tea, and also it has some coffee cups. So I've already stamped the image out on my Stamp-A-Majig, and I'm just going to line up where I want it to go, which is about right there, and it just basically says coffee run. And take my Stamp-A-Majig tool and make sure I line it up in the corner edge, then take it away, and then I'm going to take some Stays-On ink in black and ink my stamp up, and then I'm going to stamp down like so, and then pull it up. So then now I have my coffee run stamped on the inside. And then my last step is to put my star on. Now I picked these up at I believe it was Hobby Lobby, It was in their Christmas section, and these were actually ornaments. And the ornament was white. And I took some of my Glimmer Mist. Let me get the colors for you. Okay, the colors that I used were red velvet and iridescent gold. And I glimmer misted starting with the red velvet first, and then I added the iridescent gold and then heat set that. And as I said before, it was a ornament that I picked up, an ornament pack at Hobby Lobby, and it was actually this color. And once I finished the glimmer misting, it became this color. So I'm going to add this really quick, just put a little bit of my glossy accents on the back, and then just adhere down and just hold for a few seconds. And that's it. So that's it. This is day 6 cards for Christmas cards with the Cricut. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.